Well, I can't hear myself. That's okay. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, we're getting adjusted here. Well, we hope that you are doing fabulous. We have been off. We were off last week. Nobody really could make it. It's just one of those things. The Guru was out. He was off gallivanting somewhere.
I wasn't gallivanting. I was working away from
and I
here.
highly doubt Bruce is going to ever be back, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
Well, hang on.
You can just shelve that.
Well, I can't play my little soundbite.
Sure, you'd have to do it every week. I know where he's at. He's
not right here.
No. Anyway.
We miss you, Bruce.
Yeah, enough of that.
If you're interested in being a guest co-host of the show, email Michael at techiesshow.com.
I don't think so. I can't. You couldn't replace Bruce.
You can replace him, obviously, but just fill a chair in the studio.
Yeah.
We need a talking head.
Well, welcome to the Hey Techie Show, and we hope you're doing well. Guru, at some point, will fix the phone so that I can see that it doesn't ring the entire night. But, hey, if you decide, hey, I'm going to be that one caller this evening, and we would be glad to have you, 256-782.
5600.
And you can be on the Hey Techie Show.
I'm going to cover up
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just kidding.
It's fine. Well, Guru, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. Whirlwind week last week.
Yes.
Out of town. Now I'm back.
Cool.
And get to sit here and rattle on about tech for 2 hours. And
sure. Let's hope we can do that.
Like I was telling you in the green room, the not so green room.
No, right.
I was at a conference for work and was very honored to be able to do a presentation. Well, actually, several presentations, but like I told you, I was just winging it. Like I had my PowerPoint with my outline, but it's either a thing where they'll read your slides or they'll listen to you. So I wanted them to listen to me, but I provided content.
Correct.
But basically, I just kind of was rattling off stuff.
Sure.
And I guess it was cohesive.
That works. Just rattle it off.
That's how I roll the show. I just wing it.
That's correct. We rattle it off. We just wing it.
Yeah.
Well, for tonight, we do have tech headlines. Google cutting the cord. In Louisville, Kentucky, a breakup is happening. Google is parting ways with the city starting tonight with a payment of $3.84 million to undo what Google did with its attempt at offering a city its fiber internet. From removing the fiber to just repaving streets, that's what the payment's going for. Also, its above-ground infrastructure will need to be removed. Google decided their micro-trenching technique posed too many problems. The original agreement stated that Google leave the streets in the same condition or better. The service was said to have been available to almost 11,000 households. That's an estimate. And Hulu buys back from AT&T. Yes, the next step has happened. AT&T is reported to have sold their stake in Hulu back to the company for a reported $1.43 billion. Now the sale leaves two companies with ownership of Hulu, Disney and Comcast Corp. With this sale, Hulu is now estimated value at about $15 billion.
Interesting about Hulu there. I got some SpaceX news. If you're probably not surprised, maybe surprised, that one half of our new listener base. Anyway,
that's right.
SpaceX launched its second Falcon Heavy rocket on Friday. The second mission was the first to carry a commercial payload, the Arabsat 6A satellite. In addition to delivering the satellite successfully to orbit, all three first-stage rockets of the Falcon Heavy vehicle made a successful landing, with two side boosters landing at LZ-1 and LZ-2 at Kennedy Space Center, and the center's first-stage core making a successful landing on the drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, downrange in the Atlantic Ocean. Don't you love that name, Of Course I Still Love You?
Sure, it sounds like a Bond.
It's a playoff of some novel, I think. I'll have to go research it. We'll do it during the break. Anyway, this launch makes the first time that SpaceX successfully landed three first-stage rockets at the same time. And in a related story, after the successful launch, this was last Friday, that I mentioned that the center core landed on their drone ship. after that successful landing, sometime this weekend as it was coming back to Florida, the rocket tipped over. So SpaceX had blamed the loss due to rough seas. The recovery crew was unable to safely secure the rocket for its ride back to Port Canaveral. The company said in a statement, quote, "While we had hoped to bring the booster back intact, the safety of our team always takes precedence. We do not expect future missions to be impacted," end quote. And the next flight of Falcon Heavy is scheduled for this summer.
Okay.
And there's your headlines.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, they have 2 drone ships. They have one, Of Course I Still Love You. And then they have...
Well, thank you.
They have one called Just Read the Instructions.
Yes. Just read the instructions.
And then they're...
The Of Course I Still Love You sounds like a Bond film.
It may be.
No, it's not. I'm just kidding. He has From Russia with Love. I know that's one of them.
Let's
and
see.
For Your Eyes Only. Why?
Yeah, I'm getting there. This vamp for just a few more.
No, really. So, by the way, if you want to catch up with all of our shows, if you missed any, HeyTechiesShow.com, and you can catch up with the all of our shows that we've had in the past. Plus, you also have the show notes during the show. I try to update them as we go along, and sometimes I do a good job of that, and sometimes I get behind. But anyway, as we talk about it, I try to update them on the fly. And so you can go there and kind of follow along with us and see where we're getting sort of our information and then sort of how we're putting our own spin on it. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They just came
up. I've read that somewhere, and I was hoping Wikipedia had it, but it does not.
They just came up with a name.
No, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find out why.
Okay. Well, anyway. So... The center core thing's pretty interesting, though. Guru and I were talking about it. It's pretty fascinating. They did land it, but it just didn't make it back.
Yeah, I mean, they have means to secure it. It lands, of course, vertically, and it stays vertical till it gets back to port, where they use like a crane or something to pull it off vertical. Then they lower it to the horizontal.
Sure.
To take it back for processing and
But they couldn't do it because of the rough seas.
But but it stays vertical. But they secure it to the deck of this drone ship for the transit back. But the seas were too rough to risk the recovery crew from going on there to do their securing procedure. So I guess they took a chance, and then...
So here's the next step. I already got the next step. Now that we were talking about it, it's just hit me. They need robots on the drone ship to be able to secure it robotically.
Well, you said that. They do have a robotic device, but the problem is on the center core of the Falcon Heavy, it's a different configuration. So it was not that they were not they were unable to use that robotic device to secure it.
Okay.
So I left that part out. But you
wow, I was on to something and I didn't even know it. Good gracious alive.
Yeah, just read the instructions, and of course Still Love You are 2 of these sentient planet-sized culture starships which first appear in books. First appear in Banks' The Player of Games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not geeky enough to know.
I'm not either, but apparently Elon Musk was. So
well, sure.
I lost some geek cred there. But yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, just read the instructions, and of course I Still Love You. That's their 2
well, thank
drone
you.
ships.
I appreciate that.
Oh,
yes.
Don't mention it. That's the name of the drone ship I was talking about, not anything else.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, it was cool. I watched the webcast of the launch, and it's just amazing to watch them pull this off. And then, like, as the commentator they use for the webcast, they have several people, but one of them, he's done it several times. He's a former Air Force engineer, now he works for SpaceX, but he says, launch is hard. And they're basically launching 3 rockets.
Right.
If you've ever watched any of these SpaceX launches, the Falcon Heavy is basically 3 first-stage Falcon 9s that are strapped together with a single upper stage. So basically, they're launching that thing. It's got 27 engines on the first stage. It's the equivalent of 17 Boeing 747s in the amount of thrust it's giving off at launch. It's just crazy. And then for them to land all 3 stages within minutes of each other, seconds really, because the side boosters landed boom, boom, right next to each other, side by side. It's just amazing what they're doing. I just hated that they lost that, center stage coming back. But as an aside here, we got this video in our little internal document, which I hope you'll put in the show notes. There was a YouTuber. He does aviation videos and stuff, but he's a general aviation pilot. But he actually took a ride in a Cessna, little small general aviation airplane, to witness the launch from the air.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he wasn't in like there's an area you can't fly in during the launch, obviously for safety, but he was outside of that. But got video of the launch from an aircraft, and then they kind of circled back around and got video of the two outer stages that landed on land at Kennedy Space Center. Got video of that as well. Very cool. I don't know if that'd be cooler than just watching the launch in general. I've never been able to witness the launch firsthand, but just to be able to, it puts it to a whole nother level. Anyway.
Right. Exactly right.
So we got that link. We'll put that in the show notes. HeyTechieShow.com.
That's right. Yeah, I'm getting it up there as soon as I can.
Episode 165. Maybe it's 165 episodes. Man.
I know.
Time flies.
Yeah, it does. Well, when the Hey Techie Show returns from our first break, we'll move on to something else.
Yeah, we will.
We'll expand on these stories.
We won't talk about SpaceX anymore.
Yes, we will.
At least tonight.
Yeah, Hey Techie Show. Be right back. Okay, Guru. Playing with the buttons.
That's right.
I don't know this song.
It's called Pumped Up Kicks by a group called Foster the People. Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know about it till the other week, so
Oh, there we go.
I mean, I think the song was released like in 2010, so it's an oldie, I guess you could say, because it's like 9 years old now.
Right.
But it was a good one.
So the one of our stories was Hulu, and
That's right.
You know,
yeah.
the thing is that's progressing, and one of the big news stories involved in that is the fact that now Disney and owns 60%.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, then I'm sorry,
Comcast.
yeah, Comcast. Thank you, Guru. They own like 30%.
I'm just trying to figure out why would AT&T sell their stake in it?
Well,
because you would think most of these companies that are delivering content to you by whatever means, they want to have their hand in streaming, some shape, form, or fashion. And I don't think they're in it any other way but Hulu.
I think
AT&T.
Yeah, but I think that they. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm thinking there is an actual reason.
There's DirecTV Now, but that's. I don't know if that. I don't know if you really call it. I don't really call it streaming. I mean, I guess it is streaming, but.
Well, look here.
I just don't see the reason they would do that.
Well, look here.
Unless they just need some cash.
Well, yeah, you could see that. I know AT&T doesn't look like it needs cash, but hey,
$1.43 billion.
That's
a lot of dollars.
Cash.
Yeah.
I mean, they can. I don't know what originally they bought the stake for. I didn't find that in the article of what their original stake was. So it probably went up. I mean, with Hulu's
I just wonder if AT&T is about to double down on something else. So they're getting out to do something on their own.
Well,
or DirecTV Now, they're going to rebrand that as something else. Because I don't think it's doing too well as DirecTV Now. It's kind of got the stigma of DirecTV.
Well, that could be. The odd thing, and we've said it here before.
And I'm not dissing DirecTV. I'm a DirecTV customer personally at home. I think for those that are cord cutters, they don't want to associate themselves with DirecTV.
Yeah, I get that. I know that's the thing.
I mean, that's just my thoughts here.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, people who are cutting cords, I don't want to go back to DirecTV. I just cut the cord from them. Yeah.
It sounds too much like DirecTV.
Yeah, but the thing
by name only. I mean, it may be. I've never tried DirecTV Now, so I can't comment on the content.
But DirecTV, and I haven't either. I've thought about doing something like that, and I'm still debating whether we might do that sometime. But DirecTV Now.
I hope I didn't mess you up. This recording was like super low, and I just bumped it up.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It went up mid-sentence with you. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Anyway, I'm not worried about it.
Oh.
I can't see it. I could see it before. Now I can't see it. Turn it back where it was at.
How about that?
I guess it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So, sorry,
excellent. Awesome.
behind the scenes there. Go ahead. Please continue.
I lost my thought. No, anyway. No, seriously, DirecTV Now has gone up on its prices from the beginning.
Yes.
And so I think that the thing is it where people think the sweet spot is? I don't know. Maybe. Is it the problem? Is it a lot less than
go ahead.
Is it a lot less than having DirecTV? Could be.
Well, it depends on how you get your internet.
Correct, right. You got to factor that in too.
Yeah. But now that let's take a step forward in this. So now Disney owns 60% of Hulu.
Yeah.
Comcast owns the rest. So, I mean,
well, I think there's another 30%.
Anyway, Disney owns 60%. That's what I'm getting at.
Controlling interest.
Yes.
Overwhelmingly.
So Disney is got basically they got controlling interest, like you said. So they're gonna. It'll be. I mean, they have a large library of content they could deliver in this platform very easily.
But then you've got Disney Plus.
I know that's the other little kind of.
Which they just came out while we were on hiatus.
I wonder if they're gonna merge that into Hulu's portfolio, or it'd be like a premium tier perhaps of Hulu. Like a Hulu Plus.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is all this Plus stuff? We got Apple Plus, Apple News Plus, Apple Song Plus, Apple Plus.
But it goes back still to we've talked about this on the show before. Like, there's not one streaming service that would give you everything that you possibly want. Because you have the Disney service, and you have Hulu, and you have Netflix. And Netflix is some of their content's coming off of Netflix. They're investing so heavily in original content. So it's like, and I'm of the belief like, there's a certain point people only gonna pay so much a month for these streaming services.
Right. And Disney is at $6.99 a month, according to what I've read.
They're going is it $30 or $40 a month is kind of the peak you'll pay for these services, because then you start to get where you're paying more than what you paid for traditional.
I know, we talked about
cable
that
satellite.
Right.
Is the pendulum going to swing back that way? I mean, it's a very organic situation right now, and everybody's trying to get in. Netflix was in very early, but Netflix just seems like they're doubling down on original content.
Well, actually,
and I disagree with that. I think there was some content that I liked on Netflix personally that they no longer offer, is making me doubt why should I can keep paying you when you go up on the price.
I know. It told me today it was going up to $15.99. I think it's May 5th.
Lord.
Yeah, so I'm debating.
It just went up a few months ago. I feel like
I'm debating on whether to keep it anyway, but I'm not watching it that much. So I mean,
there's other people in my household that watch it more than I do. So I mean,
yeah, I get that.
I just need to make make some thought process. Do we keep it? Do we switch that money to something like Hulu with a combination of maybe Disney? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch Disney anymore. Now, there's some movies that, if they had their old catalog, you might get access to some of their old catalog. That'd be interesting. But look, I don't really watch.
But you had kids,
I know, but
even
I'm a big kid at times.
Yeah, big kids like us. I mean, stuff we grew up on, part of that Disney catalog.
Yeah, some of it. But the question to me would be, I just don't see them offering everything. I don't see, because I mean, you got their digital purchase, you got rental, you've got purchase of a DVD still, or even a high def DVD in the store, Blu-ray, whatever you want to call it.
I think that medium's dying.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about that, but that's for another discussion. I mean,
absolutely.
I know that's true, and that's part of this in a way, but it's not dead yet.
No, it's not. No, it's dying.
Yeah, I know.
It's not dead.
I know. I got what you said. But
the success of streaming and the higher availability, it won't go away completely, because there's still areas of the U.S. that are underserved in broadband, and until that is,
we're gonna fix all that with 5G.
Until that's corrected, it still is very relevant.
Yeah,
but it's becoming less and less relevant as we move forward in time.
Well, and I think. I know I've said this before, but I think content has something to do with this too. I mean, people are just not interested in some of the content that people make.
It's because we have so much to occupy our lives on our devices. Correct. Social media and all these different. It's not like every day there's a new social network. I just can't. I've stopped trying to keep up.
There is an article in the Hollywood Reporter. That's the headline: Box office, Hollywood hoping for Herculean reversal of fortune after worst early slump in 6 years. According to this article, the domestic revenue year to date is its lowest level since 2013.
And just what entertainment in general?
Box office.
Box office. Okay.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
For instance, the Millennium and Lionsgate movie Hellboy, they said a remake, it's a remake, opened to a dismal $11.9 million.
Well, it goes back to people that used to be like the tried and tested way. Hey, let's go to the movies tonight. This new movie's on, and if you didn't, there was less competing for your dollar and or time.
It says that.
Go ahead. No. I say it's just there's so much competing for your time these days, and people just are less interested.
It says through Sunday, revenue at the North American box office was an estimated $2.7 billion. Says this is the lowest showing since 2013 for the comparable time period. Down 17% from the same corridor in 2018 when Black Panther opened. And let's see, 18% from 2017 when it had the spring hits Beauty and the Beast and Logan. I don't even know about I remember the Beauty and the Beast, but I don't know about some of these. I don't know. Let's see. Major exceptions to the early 2019 Blues included Disney's Marvel's Captain Marvel. And so it looks like, let's see, that pick earned about $387 million domestically, $1.6 billion globally. Let's see what else is interesting here. So it looks like to me that basically they're going to have to see if the rest of the year can save them. From what it looks like to be, it's a slow start.
We're only in mid-April, but I know they're probably looking year over year.
So here's the titles.
But you still got the summer.
Yeah, here's the titles. And I do think some of these are probably. And here, this is what's interesting. Listen to this list.
Okay.
Tell me what you hear here. Okay, The Lion King, Frozen 2.
Oh, Frozen 2. Oh.
Toy Story 4, and Star Wars Episode 9.
Those are the last two.
The Rise of Skywalker.
The last two are going to be huge.
Okay, but all of those are what? Disney films.
True.
Every one of them. So then you got Universal. They're talking about Secret Life of Pets 2 and Fast and Furious spinoffs.
Secret Life of Pets 2.
That's what they said.
No, but the Star Wars and the Toy Story are going to be huge box office hits.
I hope I get to go see The Lion King. That's not a cartoon remake. That is a live action Lion King.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The actual trailer looks pretty cool.
Okay.
And I do know that it has some of the producers of the original Lion King, and also from the live action Jungle Book. That was I think it's several years ago.
Yeah.
That was a good version of it.
Okay.
So anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, but the whole box office industry is changing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things competing for our entertainment dollar. Streaming services being one of those, and there's other things just that are
well. But I think part of it is beyond that too. I think there is a group of people growing up that don't really care to go to the movies. They don't like to go out to eat. They like to eat in.
Yeah.
They like everything brought to them.
They want to stay in their house.
Yes, that's the thing. I'm not saying it's a ton of people, but it's enough.
It's enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Absolutely.
They don't, like restaurants are having to change. There's a lot of delivery.
Yeah, they partner up with these delivery companies
correct, right.
You can still have your stuff, but they'll bring it to you.
Right.
Or it used to be a thing where let's go out to eat.
And there is
go to a restaurant.
And for a lot of people there still is that, but there's no doubt about it that there has been a change.
There's a shift.
There is a shift in sections.
And the thing about, I don't know about the entertainment industry, but like with the restaurant industry, those margins are so thin that just a small offset in business can make a big impact.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
interesting times we live in, for sure. Interesting.
And then you've got Google, as I was talking about, the Google Fiber deal.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They just kind of said bye.
That had been announced back in February. I'm thinking that was going to happen. It just didn't work out. I mean, I think they had a lot of problems with the infrastructure. They were doing that almost just barely buried in the road. On the side of the road, you could actually see the cable.
That micro burial, tunneling, whatever.
Right.
Micro.
It was almost on
trenching, micro trenching.
Micro trenching, yeah. And I think that it just didn't pan out, from what I understand. So I don't know. It was a test. It probably works in some areas and doesn't in others. Maybe it just I don't know. We'll see, but. I don't know. Maybe they may drop the whole thing.
Yes.
But, Google does this. Google does this thing where they try this and try that, and throw a bunch of money at this and a bunch of money at that, and they say, okay.
Well, it's a risk, and they're going to try
and
it.
They do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Of course, the Alphabet company, they have Google.
Yeah.
And then they have this other place over here.
Yeah.
And they watch over both of them real closely, I guess. And one of them is their research and development, and one of them is supposedly this shining thing called Google, where everything works perfectly. And
At least that's what they want you to think.
yeah. So
Well, speaking of spending money, this kind of segues into that. It's not sort of tech related. We're going to spin it into tech. So, headline: Walmart renovating 14 Alabama stores, spending $69 million. Talk about spending some money. So they're Walmart's committing an estimated $69 million this year to renovating 14 Alabama stores. And there's a list of them here. Some local ones here. There's one in Attala that's being renovated. Some in the Birmingham metro. I mean, all over the state. Oh, Oxford is one of them. Talladega. But anyway, the company also announced that several of its in-store programs will be expanded. By the end of the year, Walmart plans to expand its free grocery pickup option to 27 stores and its grocery delivery service to 22 others. The Walmart pickup towers,
yes.
the 16-foot high vending machines for online orders, will be added at 16 stores. And Walmart plans to add its fast product unloading system and autonomous floor scrubbers to other stores this year as well.
Huh.
Yeah, I just read something real briefly about this unloading system. I know very little about it, but I think we talked on the show about the autonomous floor scrubbers before.
Yes, we have.
So apparently these things are working, so they're getting ready to throw them out there.
Well, of course.
The pickup tower is very cool. That's very cool. Have you used it before?
No.
It's neat. It's neat.
So you go over there.
Oh, so you order something from Walmart.com
right.
and you have it shipped to the store, whether it's in the store or it has to be shipped to the store. That what they used to call site to store. Now they call it pickup. But what they do is when your order is ready, not groceries, like this is other stuff. They load your order into this pickup tower, which if you hear local from this station, Jacksonville has one.
Huh.
There's one in Oxford too. But anyway, they load your order in this big tower. Apparently it holds 100 items, supposedly. All you do is go up and use the Walmart app, and when you get to the store and there's a barcode, it'll give you instructions, go to the pickup tower, and you scan this barcode on the little barcode reader on the machine. And when you do that, you hear, I guess, running in the background. It's going and getting your order, and it kind of brings it to you. The little door opens, and there's your order.
Huh. Wonder what happens if it's not your order.
I don't know. I've used it one time, and it was my order. So,
do you take it and run?
Well, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If you ordered like a very expensive, electronic device, and it's like a pet toy,
Sure,
I mean, obviously you don't want to.
Yeah, but the next person got an expensive
electronic device
instead of a. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure they got it all
Yeah.
figured out. But I imagine that. I guess it has cameras watching it. I would assume.
Oh yeah, you would. Yeah, absolutely. There's not a square foot of that store probably no camera except the restrooms, and the fitting rooms.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I thought that was neat. There's $60-something million they're going to invest in Alabama stores this year, through renovations, through pickup towers, through expanding the grocery pickup and grocery delivery. That's the whole next iteration of the thing, grocery delivery.
Right. Exactly right.
I wonder how much that fee would be for grocery delivery, because if it's reasonable, would you pay it? I haven't really researched how much they charge. Be interesting to find out.
I don't know.
I wonder if there's any stores in the state that have grocery delivery where you could
You call them live on the air.
Hey,
Hey,
do you mind if we talk to you on there real quick?
Show.
Can we talk to you on there, please?
Yeah. And we want to know how much it costs to use your delivery pickup system. That's what we need to know.
Well, I can't tell because you put in your address and it says delivery not available.
Oh yeah, of course.
I
We
want
have to find somebody's address that that lives near one. Pardon me. Golly.
$9.95 per order,
Okay.
according to a Google search, and it requires a $30 minimum purchase.
Oh yeah. I mean that makes sense.
That ain't really that bad. Now, I mean, at $30 to pay $10, that's quite a premium. But if you buy groceries like every 2 weeks or less frequent, I mean, if they still charge the same $9.95 and you have like this $200-300 order of groceries, I mean, yeah, it may be worth it. Anyway, that'd be cool. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. So let's bring it back, reel it back in.
That's what we do is tangents here. The Techie Show.
We do. We certainly do. So I wish Bruce was here tonight. Well, I don't know if we should. We got 5. Well, this is a soft break. We don't have to take it right on time. I'm going to talk about this real quick. So I wish Bruce was here. And this was, we talked about this. There's a group text with some of us.
Yes.
Us friends, friends of the show.
I'm halfway.
us.
I'm concerned about this because I think I actually do have an Outlook.com account, but I don't use the email portion of it.
Anyway, I know some family who do. But anyway, here's the headline. Microsoft reveals hackers accessed some Outlook.com accounts for months.
Yes.
And Microsoft has started notifying some Outlook.com users that a hacker was able to access accounts for months earlier this year. The software giant discovered that a support agent's credentials were compromised for its webmail service, allowing unauthorized access to some accounts between January 1st and March 28th, 2019. Microsoft says the hackers could have viewed account email addresses, folder names, and subject lines of emails, but not the content of emails and attachments. It's not clear how many users have been affected by the breach or who was involved in obtaining access to Outlook.com email accounts. A quote here from Microsoft says, "Our data indicates that account-related information, but not the content of any emails, could have been viewed, but Microsoft has no indication why that information was viewed or how it may have been used." This is what was sent to to users that were affected. The hackers weren't able to steal, I'm not quoting anymore, by the way. The hackers weren't able to steal login details or other personal information, but out of caution, Microsoft recommending that affected users reset their passwords. So there you go.
It does not appear. I did log into my account. I do not see anything telling me. Nope. The last one was a password change I had to do back in 2018. So I don't have anything.
Well, that's good. I don't think I personally have an Outlook.com. Now I have Office 365.
Yeah, I have that too.
But that's different. I think that's not included in this.
Let's see, junk mail. I have no junk mail to this account.
Well,
nobody knows.
Nobody knows that email address. It ain't, Chief Techie at Outlook.com.
No.
Don't send an email to that. It's not going to go to Michael.
I never use this account for anything. I have it for one particular purpose. And, and it's nothing top secret. It's just I just don't use it for that. That's interesting.
But, one thing that was discussed amongst us, us nerds this earlier today was apparently it was somebody that had administrative access to Outlook.com, some sort of tech support.
Yeah, it
role.
says a support agent, which makes me want to think it's third party.
But the fact that this is, I don't know who brought this up. I'll let them remain anonymous here. But why wasn't there two-factor on that account? Because had the credentials got compromised, you'd have had another level of protection.
I know you could have, unless somebody sold their.
Unless it's sold two-factor too, the second factor.
But
why does a tech support agent have that kind of access?
Well, that's what I wonder. Well, they would have to help you.
I know that, but
why would they be able to have all kind of access?
But just have sound like they had
unfeathered.
They had unfeathered reign of these accounts to a certain degree. Not like they couldn't see your password and stuff, but just to be able to see the content, carte blanche, that kind of bothers me.
They say that they believe that some of these accounts were helped to breach iPhone resets. Like they were able to use these accounts to get into stolen iPhones and somehow or another redo a password reset.
Well, that's lovely.
Which seems odd to me too, because there's just so many things that would have to happen to know you needed that. The randomness to me is the problem I have. There's got to be more to this. To me, there's an inside something. I'm not saying man or woman. I'm just saying there just seems to be they got to investigate, and I'm sure they are. They need to investigate this all the way down because there seems to be a hole here. More than just there's a breakdown in some type of security.
Yeah, and again, this is not a hack.
No.
They use the term hackers.
I know, and it's really not.
Somebody unauthorized access to the data.
Yeah,
because of stolen credentials.
Correct, right. Either it was social engineered or something like that,
or sold, or
correct, right. That would be the worst.
Somebody got credentials they shouldn't have had.
Correct, and that I know they say hacked, but they use that a lot on all kinds of Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, change your passwords early and often. That's good advice for
Well,
anybody.
and the other thing is two-factor does help.
Yes.
It does help. Now, the thing is, in this case, it wouldn't necessarily have helped you as a person who may have gotten
But
exploited,
right.
but if the person had have had it, who was the support agent, maybe their accounts may not have been compromised. If it's just true, if it's just a straightforward case of that.
Yeah, or I'm thinking here, if you had two-factor on and they tried to compromise that account, maybe they couldn't compromise the second factor,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and then
Yeah.
that's when you could have stepped in as the true controller of that account,
Correct.
and intervened.
Right.
Yeah, if anything supports two-factor, I mean, do it. I mean, if it's like some random site that you use very infrequently that has no financial information, maybe it's not as a big deal. I mean, use a different password for that site. Obviously, don't
Right.
use the same
or
password.
You get a password manager.
Yeah, use like a LastPass, which I recommend. There's KeyPass, there's other ones. But if it's dealing with like financial information,
Sure.
or anything like that, if they have a two-factor option, turn it on.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't.
I know it's a pain.
It is,
but
and
it's needed in this day and age.
I don't access my financial records except on my device with a fingerprint approval.
Yeah,
I don't access them on any other device. Period. Only on my phone.
and that's a whole nother thing. Is like even if your Wi-Fi, public or not public.
No, I'm on mine. I don't do.
I
that.
know, because there's risks there.
That's correct, and I don't ever check it either like that. Or I might.
There's the rare event I need to check something like that when I'm not like in a Wi-Fi access point that I control.
Right.
But I have a VPN account.
Correct. Right, and that's the way to go there.
To where it's encrypted all the way to the other end.
Yeah.
I use a trusted VPN provider.
But now, and I know we can't get into this right now, but we could. And the future of Wi-Fi, where it's encrypted end to end, is here. Really, it's not deployed as such, but that next level is here. So that'll be interesting to see how that changes everything.
But even with that, you can still put a VPN and just add another layer.
Oh,
of
I
protection.
agree. No, totally.
And if you use a VPN, don't use a free one, because those are probably not safe. You're gonna have to pay for this. And I mean, what I pay for it's minuscule. It's like $40 a year, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
I saw. Matter of fact, I got an article here.
there's several ones. I mean, I won't
Similar
name
to this.
vendors on air, but I mean, do some research and find a reputable company.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when we return, the Hey Techies show will move right along.
Yeah, moving
On to something else. We got plenty to talk about.
Oh yeah, we're about to getting close to wrapping this first hour, but
and we'll get over to our dose. Hey Techies show. Be right back. Welcome back to the Hey Techies show.
Yeah, the show that will not let you down when it comes to good tech content.
There you go. Yes, sir. Well, if you did not know, there is a car company, or rather a ride-sharing company called Lyft. They're not a car company.
Yeah.
But I'm sure lots of people knew about that.
I've used Lyft.
Okay, have you?
Yeah.
Did you know that they are rolling out a background check, daily background check on their drivers?
Daily?
Yes.
Okay.
It says here the background checks will provide Lyft with daily monitoring of its active drivers and immediate notifications of any disqualifying criminal convictions. Lyft said in a statement announcement. Any driver who does not pass both the annual and continuous screenings will be barred from our platform. Now, what other company does that? I mean, other companies do random drug tests, but when you get a job, you go through a background check, and that's pretty much it.
Well, it depends. It depends on the policy of the company. I mean, other companies may do
continual background check.
Potentially,
I've never heard of it.
I mean, it could definitely happen, but I think it's very much needed, especially considering this type of ride sharing where you're being picked up by somebody in their own vehicle and they're taking you somewhere.
But isn't this sort of an admittance that it's dangerous?
Well, I think it's to try to reassure people considering what's happened.
No, I
recent
know.
News.
Yeah, I get that.
Because, there's a certain part that you as the consumer of ride sharing, Uber, Lyft, and others, by making sure the vehicle you get in is the vehicle that they've sent for you, check the vehicle's make, model, color, the tag number, because that'll be on the app. It'll have the driver's name, and don't say, "Are you such and such?" Say, Can I have your name, please? And they'll get, and if it matches, okay, that's one level of like you can control. But after that, you're putting trust in these companies. These folks are, vetted, and
I get it.
There's no potential issue.
It says here that
but thing is, like, but for them to be a Uber or Lyft driver, they have to go through background checks, obviously, and I think it's a good second level ongoing check that they're keeping tabs on these folks. So if something does happen.
The company also announced an upcoming enhanced identity verification process.
Oh, okay.
So which will combine driver's license verification and photographic identity verification. Try to prevent fraud on their platform.
Okay.
This article also goes on to talk about, let's see, Lyft claims potentially fraudulent drivers will be required to provide evidence that they are carrying the approved driver's license as well as a real-time photo of their face, which will be used to verify that the driver's identity is authentic.
That makes sense. I mean,
well, yeah, of course it does.
Extra measures for the consumer to feel confident in the product and the person offering that service.
Well, now I know this doesn't happen all the time, but it is a concern of mine. Not that would happen to me, but might happen to someone I might know. What about? Well, hold on.
I'm glad you're concerned about me.
Yeah, but this wouldn't happen to you. It has happened though. What about people that are drunk?
Oh,
yeah, and
that's
they,
not me.
No, I know, but they use this service, but they get in a vehicle that they're not paying attention, and it's not the vehicle they think it is. They think it's a Lyft, but it's
not. It's
right.
not the Lyft that. It's not their ride that they've been ordered.
I mean, I know that, and to me, that's just something that the company can. There's not tons of company can do about. I mean, you're only as good as the people you're carrying. Sometimes, I mean, because there is a little bit of responsibility on the individual.
There is, absolutely. There's responsibility, of course, on Lyft and Uber and others, and I think Lyft is going the extra mile here, which is good. Which makes me feel, as a consumer of these products, when I need them, like that makes me feel better. But you're right, there is an extra piece that you, as the user of it, have got to do double checking on. It's just like if you were to try to, like in New York City, you needed a taxi, you're going to actually hail a taxi. You just don't get in the first, car you see. You look for that distinctive, paint scheme of that vehicle to be a New York City taxi, because those are controlled and regulated.
Exactly
and
right.
They all look similar. Because I can remember getting off a cruise in New York, and man, there's so many folks trying to get you to get in a ride with them, but they're not a official taxi. But you have to go across the street to the taxi stand. But they're like, well, I can take you to the airport. Where are you going? I'm like, I'm going over here. I'm going over there to the taxi stand. I don't know about you. I'm going over there.
Okay.
Anyway, that was pre Uber days.
Yeah. That makes
Which they're probably still there. But anyway.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, there's responsibility on the consumer. And if you're not in thinking clearly for whatever reason, there is some risk there, unfortunately. And I don't know how you completely solve that. I mean, there's people out here just trying to prey on folks, unfortunately, and it's sad.
Right.
But I am glad though to see that Lyft is taking additional steps. To kind of put some additional trust in their platform, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So have you never used Uber and or Lyft or the like?
I haven't. I haven't.
I'm just asking.
I know, but I really wouldn't have a need for it. The last time I've flown was in 1998.
Yeah. But a lot's changed since 1998.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to take your shoes off back then to go through security.
No. I mean, I can't even imagine going through security now. I'd want to go get all those things that you get to help you get through security quicker.
Oh, like the
passport or the driver's license with the star or whatever.
Well, you're going to have to have that for long anyway. You're going to have that or a passport to get through security. But you're talking about like the TSA pre-check?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I like TSA pre-check. Did make my recent travels a lot quicker going through security. I mean, I breezed through security, both directions.
Right.
Breeze through it.
But
you're paying for that convenience, and plus you're getting vetted. It ain't like you're just paying them a fee and they let you through. No, they're checking you out, doing a background check on you to make sure you don't meet any kind of their indicators of risk. Because people can get denied for that.
Right.
And because you have it, you're not guaranteed to get it every time. There's a random group that don't get pre-check, even though they have pre-check. They have to go through regular security. It's one of those kind of checks and balances.
Right.
But anyway, it's an interesting world we live in with who could imagine like 5 years ago we'd have like an app on our phone that we could just say, I need a ride. Okay. Your ride will be here in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's nice. I mean, it's nice. I have to admit, because before when you would when you travel, especially to another city, and you weren't going to rent a car for whatever reason, you needed a ride to your hotel or wherever.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
You'd either have to think, well, if I do a taxi, if it's on the meter, it could vary. It may be this to this, but I can do a car service and kind of have to prearrange all that, because you can't just walk up and say, I need a car.
Right.
That's what I used to do in New York, is just get a car service. But the other days are. But here's what's funny about it. We're about to go to break. So a lot of these traditional car service companies and like shuttle services, they're going to apps.
Yeah.
One in particular, Super Shuttle. They're like an airport shuttle company.
Right. Okay.
And they now have an app where you can hail a ride on Super Shuttle on demand.
Cool.
So they're trying to follow that model of Uber and Lyft.
Okay. Well, our dose coming up next.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. Hours after fire erupted at the historic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, sparks were still falling inside the building where the iconic spire caught fire and collapsed. The blaze causing extensive damage to the iconic cathedral, which has stood for more than 800 years, surviving world wars and other natural disasters. At the scene tonight, French President Emmanuel Macron, through a translator, thanked the hundreds of firefighters who battled the blaze.
Ce qui s'est passé ce soir à Paris et dans cette cathédrale Notre-Dame est évidemment un terrible drame.
It's been a terrible drama. I want to thank the firemen of Paris. They worked several hours and are still fighting fire. They have extreme courage and determination and great professionalism.
Officials say while the building suffered heavy damage, some of the artworks and religious relics at the cathedral were safely removed. The church dates back to the 12th century. American Airlines says it may update its pilot training on its 737 MAX jets. As NPR's Russell Lewis explains, the training is in response to an automated system that played a role in 2 fatal crashes that together killed 346 people.
Boeing's entire 737 MAX fleet remains grounded following crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia. Both happened shortly after takeoff, and pilots of each plane struggled to deal with the nose pitching down uncontrollably. In the United States, 3 airlines fly the MAX and said at the time their pilots were properly trained to handle such circumstances. Now, months later, American Airlines says it'll likely update some of its procedures on the automated flight control system. Boeing is working on a software fix that's still months away from potential approval. In a statement, American said as a result of the continuing investigations, they're examining additional training opportunities before service resumes. Russell Lewis, NPR News.
NPR has learned doctors for the first time use the new gene editing technique known as CRISPR to try to treat sick people in the U.S. More from NPR's Rob Stein.
The patients were treated at the University of Pennsylvania. One has multiple myeloma. The other has sarcoma. Both had suffered relapses after undergoing previous treatment. Scientists removed immune system cells from their bodies and used the new gene editing technique called CRISPR to modify the DNA in the cells, and then infuse the cells back into the patient's bodies. The hope is the cells would attack the cancer. No information has been released yet about how well the approach may or may not be working. Rob Stein, NPR News.
Some unsolicited advice to airplane builder Boeing from President Trump. Trump saying only if he were in charge of the company, he would fix the plane. He also said he would rebrand the 737 MAX jetliner, given the damage that has resulted in the company's reputation from 2 crashes. On Wall Street today, the Dow was down 27 points. This is NPR.
Our dose.
Yeah. You took my line from me.
I'm so sorry,
That's
Guru.
okay.
You're right. I even when I said it, I was thinking I was taking his line from him.
Man.
If you'd like to be part of our
Dose.
you can call 256-782
5600
and be a part of our dose. And we hope you're having a great evening, and we thank you for joining us this evening. It is just I and the Guru tonight, and he's got to play it. He's got to play it one more time.
That's right. One more time for good measure. He's not here. That's for sure.
I still got to remember to try to get some lights. I keep forgetting to mention that to somebody.
No,
I'm going to mention it again.
You don't like being in the dark?
No, I'm in the dark.
Are you afraid of the dark?
I'm not afraid of the dark, but I'm in the dark. Well, you know what? I'm not in the dark. I'm in the dim.
The dim?
Yeah, it's dim. If you look at me over there on the video, it looks like I don't know how to shoot video.
Yeah,
Of course, there's nobody working.
but for months, I was in the dim over here because the light above me was.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to some headlines real quick.
Sure, absolutely.
So I'll start off this hour. So SpaceX launched its second Falcon Heavy rocket on Friday. The second mission was the first to carry a commercial payload, the Arabsat 6A satellite. In addition to delivering the satellite successfully to orbit, all 3 first-stage rockets made a successful landing, with the side boosters landing at LZ-1 and LZ-2 at Kennedy Space Center, and the center first-stage core making a successful landing on the drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, downrange in the Atlantic Ocean. This marks the first time SpaceX successfully landed 3 first-stage rockets at the same time. And on a related but sad note, that center stage core first stage that was on the drone ship, well, on its way back from back to Florida, it fell over in rough seas. And the recovery crew was unable to safely secure the rocket for its ride back to Port Canaveral due to the rough seas. And the company said in a statement, while we had hoped to bring the booster back intact, the safety of our team always takes precedence, and we do not expect future missions to be impacted, end quote. And the next flight of Falcon Heavy is scheduled for this summer. Sad situation. That just, we got to play that.
Yeah, very sad. Okay.
What you got for us?
Hulu buys back from AT&T. The next step has happened. AT&T is reported to have sold their stake in Hulu back to the company for a reported $1.43 billion.
Woo! Money.
The sale leaves two companies with ownership of Hulu, Disney and Comcast Corp. Disney with 60%. With this sale, Hulu is now valued at about $15 billion. That would be billion with a B. Google cutting the cord in Louisville, Kentucky. The Ville. I hear something.
Yeah, sorry.
A breakup is happening. Google is parting ways with the city starting tonight with a payment of $3.84 million to undo what Google did with its attempt at offering a city its fiber internet. The 20-month payment for removing the fiber or just repaving streets. Also, it's above-ground infrastructure as well. Google decided their micro-trenching technique posed too many problems. The original agreement stated that Google leave the streets in the same condition or better. The service was said to have been available to almost 11,000 households. And that is your news stories.
Yeah, I found a video on YouTube about Google Fiber for Communities, the race to the faster internet. It's called micro-trenching.
Oh, yeah.
Got a little Bobcat thing going out here. I got the little... Interesting.
It just looks like to me that it's fraught with problems.
Yeah, but
I just don't...
When you have that stuff too close to the surface, it's just kind of like...
It just doesn't... I didn't understand it.
And it just takes one wrong move with some heavy equipment, or even not heavy equipment. In this case, if it's close to the surface to cut the fiber, and it's not like you can easily splice that fiber back together,
I don't know.
It takes great skill to be able to splice fiber.
I tell you what.
What?
Let's put it this way. If there was another way, a cheaper way, a less expensive way, a more profitable way, AT&T would have already found out how to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, trust me.
They have dropped no telling how much money in their U-verse. Because it's fiber all the way to like a neighborhood node, and it goes back to copper.
But they've been doing fiber for a long time.
Oh yeah, even before U-verse, they were running fiber. I mean,
right,
for their backhaul stuff.
So I just, to me, I'm not saying it can never be figured out. I guess I'm just thinking that, and certainly that's how things happen. Necessity brings apart some inventions. Brings out some inventions, obviously. But I just think that these big companies, I know that they're the big company, but I still think that they have ways that have been tried and true, and they know the ins and outs of this. And I just think it's fine to try stuff. I think that's good, but I don't know. I just don't think that's ever going to work.
But the thing with Google with this is they're kind of out of their comfort zone in regard to this type of stuff. Actually laying infrastructure, this type of infrastructure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they have data.
I never really give thought about.
They have data centers, and they have Google, the search engine, and other software products and services. But like, this is a whole nother level of thing.
Like a car.
Yeah, like building a car. Apple trying to build a car.
Their Google car.
Yeah, or Apple trying to build a car,
yeah,
or Google. It's just like sometimes just because you can don't mean you should. And I'm not trying to downplay, get into a new sector, but like there's a lot of big boys in that business already.
There is
laying infrastructure. And I'm not talking about AT&T and the other big telecoms. I mean, there's these contractors that's
Right.
that's what they do for a living is they get hired by these big telecoms
Now-
to pull cable.
Now, I really think, and I really do believe, and I don't know how it's going to manifest itself eventually, but I think the laying of cable and fiber is on the downhill slide.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think,
I
hold on
don't-
now. Hold
Go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
Physical cable, I do believe we will have it for some time. It may not happen in my lifetime, but I really think that speeds are going to be such with a satellite type provided service or some type of low altitude service that they're going to be able to really compete.
I think
with it.
you gonna hit a. There's gonna be you can't violate the laws of physics.
I'm talking about
in regard to the RF stuff. There's only so much spectrum out there.
I understand that, but I'm talking about with the majority of areas that are deemed rural.
Now, I agree with you that wireless is going to solve the problem with rural high-speed internet, but there will always be a need for that physical connectivity.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there.
But I think areas that are not served very well by traditional high-speed, that's cable, satellite. I mean, cable, internet, or through your telephone company or whatever high-speed internet provider that's traditional wire to your house. If you don't have that today, the chance of you getting that, if you're out in the rural areas, you're more than likely going to get served through another means. And I think cellular, like wireless, is going to be the way. Now, Elon Musk has got his own. He's got his own plans with the satellites.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm just curious to see how it's going to work.
I think having both is a good combination, but you're always going to need wired.
Well,
There's going to be utility for that. I think that's not going away.
Yeah. Well, maybe not.
We can have different views. That's what's
no.
good about the show.
I mean, I don't know. I admit I don't know. I just think that I believe at some point the technology is going to flip and it's going to be faster.
I don't know.
I just think
It's hard. It's hard to beat when you can get I don't know what you can get on fiber these days, depending on what.
Oh, it's out there. I realize what I'm saying.
But it is minuscule. It's nothing these days to get 10 or 100 gig on fiber.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, and that's probably low. I mean, I don't know what you can get, but I mean that's like very that's commodity.
Yeah, right. Business
these
to
days.
business. I understand that.
Yeah, but there's some people probably at home that have demands or just have the money and have that kind of connectivity.
Google Fiber.
Well, Cable One has fiber
They
too.
do. I know somebody that has Cable One fiber.
I don't. I still have my 50 meg.
AT&T has fiber.
My 50. I think it's 50
connection
megabit.
To the house.
Yeah,
to houses.
Yeah, but you can get fiber from Cable One, which are becoming Sparklight,
Something like that.
Sparky, something like that. Anyway,
Yeah, Sparky. That's it.
they stole your nickname.
Yeah, I got so many. There's so many to choose.
We'll
from.
have to share the reason you got Sparky one day on the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna need. I don't know. I'm gonna need payment for telling that.
You're gonna need therapy. That's what it is.
That's it. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
We're putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah,
Keep on moving this show down the
We're just
road.
moving it down the road, right?
It's been neat. I've been able to have a good little sayings as we come back. Anyway, it's amazing I actually get excited about that. Anyway.
Well, I don't know.
It doesn't take much to get me excited these days.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That didn't work.
Yeah, something.
Whoa.
What the?
Fouled up.
Yep, party foul. Here we go. Sorry about that, folks.
Well, all right. Little rumors.
Yeah, we got a good little stack tonight.
Yeah, we do. Let's see if we can get through them.
All right.
I have a article here from 9 to 5 Mac. Headline: Amazon expected to take on Apple Music with free ad-based music service.
Oh.
They say next week.
Next week.
Says Billboard reports that Amazon is currently in talks to make an ad-based free tiered available for its music service. They say the company is expected to advertise the plan with its Echo speakers. They say Amazon Music Unlimited runs $10 a month standalone, of course, around the same as Apple and Spotify. And then, there's the Prime Music.
But you'll have to use their Echo speaker to.
I don't know
play
about that.
it?
It doesn't say that. They're just saying that they may expect to advertise the plan with its Echo speakers.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But
let's
you
see.
mentioned Prime Music.
Yeah.
That's something that's been around for quite some time.
Meanwhile, Prime Music offers Amazon Prime members a more limited section of content for no extra charge. Now, that's true.
Yes.
Now, according to this, the new ad-supported free tier would make a third music offering. But now, you already have Spotify.
Well, they're getting into that business. I mean, they're Amazon.
Yeah.
They're in everything. There's not a business they're not afraid to try.
It would have to be better than Spotify. Man.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, sure.
What else you got? Or you want me to do one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me do one here. iOS 13 expected to feature dark mode, redesigned volume indicator, and improved iPad multitasking, and more. So coming up in June, which I mean, it'll be here before we know it. WWDC, they're probably going to release some more details about this, but there's a report here from 9 to 5 Mac, that cites people familiar with the matter, as they say. And first of all, this is some of the rumors of iOS 13. The first report claims that the long-awaited system-wide dark mode is coming to the iPhone and iPad with iOS 13, and we've already got this on Mac OS, one of the latest ones. Whichever I forget, I lose track of all the names. High Sierra. Maybe.
Sure. Are you talking about the latest one?
Yeah. Is it High Sierra? Yeah, High Sierra. Was Sierra then High Sierra? Anyway, dark mode's on the latest Mac OS. Now you can get it on. You're supposedly
Mojave.
Is it Mojave?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the desert.
I'm living in the past.
Yeah, Mojave.
The latest Mac OS. Let me just edit all that out.
You're good.
The latest Mac OS has dark mode, and it's rumored that iOS 13 will also include this dark mode. It'll also have improved multitasking on the iPad with iOS 13, including support for multiple windows and stackable cards and apps. It says each window will also be able to contain sheets that are initially attached to the portion of the screen but can be detached with a drag gesture, becoming a card that can be moved around freely, similar to what an open source project called PanelKit could do.
Huh.
And to the joy of everyone, iOS 13 is said to feature a new volume heads-up display that's hopefully far less obtrusive than the current one. If you do the volume up on your iPhone now, it's kind of in the center of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're referring to. They're supposed to have something that's less obtrusive. That's been around. That little.
Yeah, that's true.
That's been around since the beginning, I think, of iPhone.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion like that. It's not really had a significant overhaul.
Right.
And the iPads are also expected to receive a new standard undo gesture for text input on iOS 13 beyond the existing shake to undo. The report claims the new gesture is initiated with a 3-finger tap on the keyboard area, and then users can slide left or right to undo and redo actions interactively. Additional gestures are expected to be introduced in iOS 13 that allow for the selection of multiple items in table views and collection views. Users will be able to drag with multiple fingers on a list or collection of items to draw a selection, similar to clicking and dragging in Finder on the Mac.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
The report also adds that Safari on iPad on iOS 13 will automatically ask for a desktop version of the websites when necessary, while the Mail app will organize messages into searchable categories such as marketing, purchases, travel, not important, and more. The new Mail app is also said to have a read later queue. Font management is also expected to improve in iOS 13 with a new font management menu in the Settings app. Other features expected in iOS 13 include a redesigned Reminders app that extends to the Mac, improved Hey Siri rejection for common ambient noises such as laughter and crying babies, improved multilingual support for keyboards and dictation, and expanded in-app printing controls. All that is according to 9to5Mac. That's a lot of reading.
Yes.
Sorry I read that whole article to you, but that was important. I mean, that's a good kind of list of what to expect. So we'll wait till June to see how right they were.
Yeah. Well, Google I/O is coming up, and it is from May 7th to May 9th, so it's coming up pretty quickly here. And, of course, it's going to be again at Mountain View, California, at the Shoreline Amphitheater. And
right on the shoreline.
Some of the things that they are expecting, of course, Android Q.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. Stadia.
Oh, yeah, their new gaming platform.
And I guess the big question is, will there be new hardware?
Well, according to The Verge, there's going to be. What I read.
Yeah. But some saying that it's going to be a mid-range phones, like the 3A, the Pixel 3A and Pixel 3A XL, sort of like a mid-range.
Yeah. Yeah.
We shall see on that.
And
then just a list of things. More updates probably on maybe Google Assistant, Duplex, Chrome OS. They think they'll all have stage time.
That may be the 3A may be a good phone for somebody that's not willing to pay for that top tier, but you're kind of limited to. There's a big divide there. Is what I'm getting at.
I got that, but the problem, the thing is,
for those of you who have to have an inferior phone and get an Android phone,
I knew that was coming.
That may be a choice. We'll see what the pricing is.
That is the thing. What is the price point? I mean, if it's not substantial, I just don't see.
No, it has to be significant to. We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, that's all I got on that one.
Let's see. Do you have any more?
I'd probably.
You kind of overlapped a couple I had, which is fine.
So sorry.
No, you're fine. That's one about. There's a rumor about Hulu. We already talked about that kind of in the headline. And the free music, we've already talked about that. Oh, here you go. This is a good one. Microsoft working on wireless in-ear Surface Buds, in quotes, air quotes, to rival AirPods. Microsoft is planning to launch a pair of wireless earbuds under the Surface brand. They'll be a direct competitor to Apple's AirPods, according to sources familiar with the company's plans who spoke to Thurrott. The earbuds are currently in development under the codename Morrison. These are described to be in-ear wireless headphones, just like the AirPods. This isn't the first time Microsoft's created and sold its own headphones. It currently sells the $349.99 Surface headphones on its website, which, anybody that has those or has tested them, like, personally?
Which
the Surface headphones.
Oh, no.
Because those are,
I don't know of anybody that.
Those are large, over-ear headphones with advanced features like noise cancellation.
Yes.
It has the Cortana integration.
Right. I think they've been some online reviews of it, obviously.
And I'll say this, like, there's a time and place for those, and I personally do like the over-the-ear. Because the earbuds sometimes I have trouble getting some that fit in my ears comfortably.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get them in there, it's like you shove something down your ear, and it's uncomfortable, and sometimes, but there's applications where you don't want large, headphones over your
Sure.
ears, at times, and here it's fine. But there's times where it's not. Ideally, I'd love to have some like in-ear monitors where it's like molded to your ear. You go to an
Sure.
audiologist and they like
Oh yeah.
do that injection mold, but those are expensive.
Yeah.
A lot more expensive than I'm willing to pay.
Don't pull out the Hey Techies credit card for that one.
Well, I will when I get ready. I'll come to you. Don't worry about that. But anyway, what I'm saying is I think this would be a good addition to their product line if they're trying to get into this business, which Microsoft's getting their hand in a lot of things. But I was having a discussion with a friend the other week about the Microsoft, hardware, like their mobile platform, the Surface line. I mean, it's they just kind of came. I mean, initially they kind of had some. It was kind of like, okay, there's yet another laptop brand, but then they kind of started getting ahead of the pack, and I think, in my opinion, I've said this on the show before. I mean, they're the best Windows laptop you can buy. If you're going to buy a Windows computer portable that you want good quality, I think you can't go wrong with Surface.
Yeah.
This is coming from an Apple guy too. This is what I'm using in front of me right now. I have a Surface Book in front of me.
Right.
And I've been very happy with it.
So I guess I didn't.
Are you listening, Andrew?
I am. Oh, so I didn't.
He's
I
not.
didn't really see this. I didn't see this because I didn't realize it was down here in the rumors section. But this headline interests me.
Okay.
AT&T may have just signaled the end of Hulu as you know it today. That's an interesting headline because I really don't see it that way.
No.
I mean, I know we talked about it already, but I just don't get that. Without even reading the article, I just don't get it.
But yes, Disney,
yeah, I get it.
related to Apple's cousin, Disney. They they have a controlling interest in Hulu.
I know that.
Majority
Yeah,
interest.
we've already
Yeah, we discussed that already in first hour. So if you missed it, rewind. Or
I
time warp.
I understand the.
But I just think Hulu's got too much brand recognition for them to try to ditch that brand.
Why would they do that?
That would be. I think that'd be a bad move.
Insane. I mean, well, let's look at it this way. They've already had. I know they have controlling interest, but they've already had a lot of stock in it already. Like
Yeah.
this is not Disney's first. They already had some
What
control.
What I'm getting at is
I know what
a
you're
hypothetical that they just kind of roll all that in some sort of Disney branded streaming. I think that's a bad move.
I don't think that. I just can't believe that.
Hulu's just too recognizable of a brand. It's been around too long.
It'd be like doing away with Xerox.
Yeah.
I mean, the copier name. Even if you gobbled them up, you would be using the Xerox copier name. It'd be crazy not to.
Yeah, there's times where, there's companies like that today. You buy it's such branded, but it's not the hardware it used to be.
I know that's true, but
anyway, yeah.
but
the brand recognition is what I'm getting at, and
Yes.
you've got that with Hulu.
now it may change. Maybe I didn't, like I said, I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline. Maybe it'll change. Pricing plans, what they offer, the kinds of features, that's always possible. Surely
Yeah.
there will be some kind of changes giving Disney's position here.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's going to be that big of a. I just can't see it. Why do that to themselves? I mean,
Yeah.
so far right now, it's one of the shining stars in the streaming service. I mean, yeah, Netflix too, but I'm just saying, they're offering full TV on Hulu
Yeah.
now, and
that's just one person's opinion.
no, multiple people's opinions. But the thing is, I'd be shocked. That would be almost Yahoo bad decisions right there if that happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Interesting times we're living in. It goes back to what we talked about in the first hour. Like, why are they doing this? It kind of doesn't make sense for AT&T to kind of exit ownership of this company.
well,
But we're going to start repeating ourselves from the first hour, and we'll just... we'll spare
I'm
you.
not 100% sure. I need to look into that some more.
Why don't you look into that some more?
Right, not right this minute, but maybe for next week or something, we might delve into it a little bit more. But Yeah, I just think that AT&T's got a reason we don't know about yet. Maybe I just think that they just needed to get free of it.
Well, I'll give them some advice. Rename DirecTV Now. That's not working for you. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
'Cause I won't buy it. Just saying.
just name it IBM now.
Yeah, you may sell more. 'Cause some people may not know what that is. Then some people will recognize that brand and they'll buy it for the brand recognition.
Yeah, it's just like another one. I don't see IBM going away anytime.
No.
And not the name. No, I mean what they service. Probably.
Yeah,
yes.
they've shifted to more.
Shifted and changed.
They've shifted more to business, big
Yeah.
business.
Well, and just services in general, not hardware. so
Oh yeah,
much.
yeah, but like in terms of hardware, like they've exited most of the even.
Yeah, because Lenovo got.
They've sold a bunch of it to Lenovo. I mean,
Sure.
the stuff, the hardware they're selling is like high end, like very high end, for like big time applications.
Right.
So here I got this for you.
Okay.
So Microsoft is giving Windows 10 users more control over updates. That's the bane of our existence now. If you're a Windows 10 user, about it just restarting
I think they're lying.
at random.
I don't believe it. I don't believe
right
it.
before we went on air, like just in case behind the scenes, like what's running all the when we go to break and we play the PSAs and we play the bumper coming back in. When I go over here and play stuff like like my crickets, I'm running this off a Windows device, okay, using something called Radio DJ. It's a little behind the scenes. But right before we went to air, it popped up. I wanted to do a Windows update. I was like, no, not right now, not right now. I understand Windows updates come, but I like the way it used to be. Just saying. Okay, back to the article. The next major Windows 10 update is scheduled for late May, and with it, Microsoft is giving you more control over how you install updates. You'll be able to pause them for up to 35 days in 7-day increments, when previously you were only able to set an installation time or snooze updates. That should reduce the chance of your computer automatically installing them at the dirt worst times, which that has happened on air. Like I think this Surface Book of mine has restarted in the middle of the show. But anyway,
Yeah.
Windows 10 will also be able to take into account when you actually use your system to avoid forcing updates during those times. The active hours feature arrived in the anniversary update in 2016, and you were supposed to configure it manually. Many of us didn't bother to change it, according to this article. I can agree. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. And there's also going to be a download install now option on the way for the biannual update features. It'll be a separate setting outside of the check for updates tool. And basically that check for updates, if you do that now, you're kind of putting a faster refresh of updates instead of a slower one. Like you get them more quicker, which I don't like. But they're going to give you another way to be able to go manually check without getting yourself down that path, which I agree that's needed. Which they need to rename that check for updates. I want to get updates ASAP. I want to be a beta tester. That's what it should be. Yeah. I want to beta test. I don't want to beta test. That's what it should be. Anyway, but you won't be able to stave off these feature updates indefinitely due to security reasons. If you're running a version of Windows 10 that's close to the end of a service date, your system will automatically install a more recent version to ensure your PC still gets security updates.
I think part of this problem is that it's the last version of Windows.
Ever.
Not
really.
I think that's a bad word.
Last version of Windows asterisk.
Yeah, I told you.
There's a bunch of legalese at the bottom, And somebody read it, they'd read it off they have to speed up the recording.
I told you, Microsoft statements need expiration dates. I mean,
for real.
Just I mean, a lot of companies do, but they do. Bad.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Headline: Some publishers are already growing frustrated with Apple News Plus, report says. This is just not a surprise to me. A new report from Digiday, that's what it says, details how some publishers are experiencing headaches with formatting, communicating with Apple, and more. I thought that was just in general.
Yeah.
Let's see. In its original pitches to publishers, Apple promised that it would provide design resources and article templates. Well, apparently, Guru, that has been the problem. Now it says Apple is said to be outsourcing template design to third-party vendors. But some of the publishers have said it's been very difficult to use as far as
surely not an Apple development platform is not difficult to use. Surely.
So it says to generate Apple News Plus content, many publishers rely on tools that scan PDFs. I don't understand that. And convert them into digital format. The issue is with the process, however. They say here that it's the tools that are buggy and require that everything be re-edited. That's got to be annoying.
Yeah, reading a PDF and converting it's going to work flawlessly.
Oh yeah,
every time.
Every time. I mean, that
never.
Who thought
ever.
of this idea?
Well, you'd be better off just dumping the Word document in there or something, you know?
I thought we were working with new technologies. I mean,
for real.
They might as well be chiseling it out on a tablet.
Let's go back to OCR. Let's print it off and scan it. OCR
print it off and scan it, yeah.
You're talking about a whole technology.
Oh, this is crazy. Surely this was not the idea. Ultimately, here's the part of the finishing article here. Ultimately, the report says that earlier issues plaguing Apple's Plus do not bode well for its long-term future unless Apple adapts its approach. Well, duh.
Well, the thing about Apple, it's their way or the highway when you're dealing with their platforms, and they do not make stuff simple. I'm sorry. As one that's delved into a little bit of development with them, like it is, you have to be all in, like totally focused on them, and think about it. If you're in a small shop and you're trying to do like mobile stuff with them and Android, you're learning two different things at once. It's just crazy. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, me. Sigh.
Well, when we return, we'll have our last segment of the evening.
Kind of caught me off guard there.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just decided it was just a decision at the last second.
Executive decision.
It's executive.
Chief Techies spoke. We're going to break.
Hey, Techies Show. Be right back. And the Guru, oh my goodness, and the Guru producing the show.
I don't know about that. I don't feel like I'm on my A game tonight.
Oh yeah, you are. But
the songs are on their A game as always.
If you told no one anything, no one would have noticed.
And I started out by saying that I just kind of winged it. I should have come.
No.
On a different
I've
angle.
enjoyed talking to. I've enjoyed our conversation.
Oh yeah, I
It's
have
been
too.
fine.
I have
Look,
too.
we just have fun.
We're just we're missing the third chair.
I know. Well,
I know.
we just.
That's okay.
Okay.
We'll have to press on.
Guru, do you know anything about Strato launch?
No.
It's the world's biggest airplane.
Oh, we talked about this before.
Yeah, well, it finally took flight.
Yes, I did see that today. How about that?
117 meters. Hit the top speed of 189 miles per hour. It has a wingspan of 117 meters. That's
Okay.
what I meant to say. Let's see. It said it got up to 17,000 feet
Okay.
during its 150-minute test flight.
Okay.
Mojave Air and Spaceport.
Spaceport.
Yeah, there's Mojave again. Over in the desert, Mojave Desert.
Mm-hmm.
It says it's the largest plane ever created. Record-breaking 385-foot wingspan. 385-foot wingspan. You know, it's like a catamaran style.
Yeah.
It has two
Two
fuselage.
Yeah, two fuselages.
Yeah.
Or two fuselage. I don't know what the plural of fuselage
I
is.
don't either.
Anyway.
And it has 6 engines. You know, the idea, and we have covered this, but it finally got up in the air. The idea is they want to try to see if they can launch satellites from this plane up in the air. They won't be on the ground, like small stuff. That's going
to be interesting because if you're going to launch a satellite and get into orbit, you've got that velocity is the key. Like you've got to get a certain speed to where it'll.
Yeah,
that's how it stays in orbit.
I know
it's traveling at a speed in which it basically is in continuous free fall.
Correct.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's not like it's magical. It gets a certain altitude. It just floats.
It says here
Anyway.
they hope to carry 250-ton rocket ships loaded with satellites to a height of 35,000 feet.
Oh, so it's kind of like how Spaceship One got to space. Is it had like a carrier ship to get it to a certain altitude and it took off from there.
Correct.
Okay.
Into the stratosphere. Once in cruising altitude, it says here that a rocket's engine would ignite.
Okay. That makes sense. Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm not a rocket scientist.
It may not make sense. It may be like what was that plane Howard Hughes built? The
Spruce
the
Goose.
Spruce Goose. That
Yeah,
was it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about this to change subjects? Did you know that you could buy? I say in past tense. Ebooks from Microsoft Store.
Sure.
Well,
Sure.
if you did, they're going.
Sure.
They're going. If you did, they're going away in July, and you'll get refunds. So, Microsoft said in a support post starting Tuesday. This was April 2nd, so it's been a few weeks. That customers can no longer purchase ebooks from the Microsoft Store. The books category has been shut down. Consumers can keep reading ebooks they've already received on Microsoft Edge until early July. If you pre-ordered ebooks, your orders will be canceled. Full refunds will also roll out automatically in early July, Microsoft said. Your ebooks will be removed from Microsoft Edge in July when the company processes the refunds. Your EndNote books will be available until early July as well. If you made markups in your books before Tuesday, you'll receive an additional $25 credit to your Microsoft account. I didn't even know you could get ebooks in Microsoft, but apparently you could, and now you can't.
Now you can't.
And if you did, they're going away in July, but they are going to give you a refund. And if you were so lucky as to have marked up the text, they'll give you extra $25 for your trouble. So,
interesting.
I have to ask my Microsoft friend if he knew about the ebooks in the Microsoft Store, because I didn't. Anyway. So
I wonder how long ebooks are really going to be around.
I think they're here to stay. They're going to become more and more relevant as we go forward in time. I mean, personally, I would rather have a physical book.
Yeah.
You know, there's times where it's not really an ebook, but sometimes if I'm doing stuff with my job and it's like a PDF document, like a documentation, if I need to go through it step by step,
Right.
I would prefer to print it off. That's just me. I'm old school. I know. But, I think the generation before me now that's in college, I think they're fine with using ebooks for like textbooks. That's what I'm thinking of when I think of ebooks. I think of textbooks primarily. But I would prefer to still have my physical books for textbooks.
Yeah.
But, maybe I'm weird that way. I don't know.
Headline: High school election hacked by candidate who exploited weak passwords.
Was it Russian meddling?
No. Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that. Berkeley High School in California, according to this, held its first ever election for student government last month. And then a Westport News reports that one day before voting was due to close, there was a sudden surge of votes for one of the candidates running for the position. Well, no, that's not flag. That don't wave a flag, does it?
Russian meddling.
Yeah, one day. John Villavicencio, the school.
Say that again.
I think it's Villavicencio.
Okay.
Villavicencio.
Kind of rolled off your tongue. Just real.
John
slick.
Villavicencio,
There you go.
the school's director of student activities, was suspicious. Oh, I'll bet you were, John.
Oh yeah.
That a teensy-weensy bit of electoral fraud, maybe for the Russians, I don't know.
That Russian meddling.
Yeah, may have taken place. And with the help of senior student Robert Ezra Stern, discovered that the candidate whose popularity was rocketing had teamed up with a pal to rig the vote by casting fake online ballots.
I tell you about Russian meddling. Gets you every time.
Apparently, more than 500 phony votes were submitted in favor of the candidates. I'm curious to know how many high school elections anybody's ever got 500 votes.
I don't know.
I'm not even sure if that many voted in some of the SGA elections.
I don't know. How about this? Headline: 3-year-old disables dad's iPad for 25 million minutes, or nearly a half a century. A DC-based journalist has apparently been locked out of his iPad for more than 25 million minutes after his 3-year-old son tried to use it without the correct password, according to a screen grab shared on his Twitter page. And the caption to that tweet, looks fake, but alas, it's our iPad today after a 3-year-old tried repeatedly to unlock ideas, ? The tweet included a screen grab of his disabled iPad, which recommended he try accessing it in 25,536,442 minutes, which is 48 and a half years. One Twitter user joked that he ought to reboot his 3-year-old and try to time travel.
Oh, good grief.
Others offered helpful resources and tips to solve the problem. Per Apple's guidelines, users are experiencing the problem are advised to restore and update their settings through iTunes. Any data that's not backed up, however, will be
Irreversibly lost?
Irretrievably lost.
Irretrievable.
It'll be lost. It's gone.
Huh.
On Monday, Osnos, that's the journalist, and this is his iPad, he told the New York Daily News that he is still locked out. Although he had gone a few hundred minutes. It had gone a few hundred minutes. It looks like I still got about 25 million minutes more to go. Yeah, iPad is disabled. Try again in 25 million minutes.
You must have just found that. I don't see that as a link.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in there.
Oh, here it is.
From Fox News.
No, I see it. Okay.
It's from FoxNews.com.
All
the news
I see.
fit the print.
I know what you were going to say.
None of that fake news around here. We don't have fake news on Hey Techie Show. It's all real.
Sure, right.
Even if we make it up, it's still real.
Well, look, we've had a fabulous evening, and the Hey Techies Show is so glad to have you all here. And if you're not here, you should have been here.
You missed
And
out.
You missed out.
Sorry.
But you certainly could catch back up on HeyTechieShow.com where you can see everything about us.
You can listen to all 164 previous shows if you dare.
Yeah. And
if one listener listens to all our previous shows, I want to know about it.
yeah, and this one.
Yeah, got to listen to all 165. If you do that, we'll put you in the co-host chair.
Sure. Right. You'll be a Hey Techies Show expert.
That's right.
Well, from all of us to all of you, have a fabulous week.